From the glass doors of the historic theater, it winds its way down the sidewalk and around the corner, where it encounters an improbable assortment of people, including teenagers wearing glitter eyeliner, parents who are nostalgic for American Idol, and subscribers with gray hair who are holding freshly folded copies of the Daily Times Chronicle event section with Abi Carter's name circled in pen. A concert isn't the only event that's taking on in this sleepy New England town tonight. An unwavering conviction that no amount of darkness can bury a light that is ready to rise is the foundation of this tour, which is hosting a story that started on a television soundstage and somehow developed into a tour. This is Abi Carter's first full-scale trek across the country as a headlining artist, and the Daily Times Chronicle has the enviable responsibility of chronicling the night that she delivers it here. The tour is called the No Amount of Dark Tour, between television screens and touring vans. In the year 2024, when Abi Carter made her debut on the American Idol stage, she transformed Billie Eilish's song, What Was I Made For?, into a shivering cinematic confession. The judges did not hold back when they made their judgments. They referred to her voice as being among the very best that they had ever heard. After a few months had passed, she emerged victorious in season 22, becoming the first woman to win the competition in the past 4 years and the first person to receive platinum tickets who won the competition. However, it wasn't simply the victory that kept supporters coming back. The way that she handled each song as if it were a secret that was whispered into a packed room, trusting that someone out there needed to hear it, was her specific brand of vulnerability. Immediately following the clearing of the confetti, Abi did not immediately run into a major label machine. Instead, she continued her career as an independent artist, gradually piecing together songs about the healing process, the process of grieving, and the weird, hopeful glimmer that can be found within even the roughest of nights. No Amount of Darkness was a term that originated from that creative season and continued to resurface in many forms, beginning with lyrics, then moving on to interviews, and finally appearing on posters and tickets. There was more to it than just a line. A mission statement was formed from it. A hometown hero homecoming that sold fans on the concept of a full show paced around the arc from shadow to light. The idea had its live debut as a spectacular event at a Crisier Arena in the Coachella Valley in July 2024. The concept was a hometown hero homecoming. On that particular evening, the seeds were planted for what would later manifest as this tour. A tour that comes with a story. Almost all tours consist of a series of dates. There is a greater sense that No Amount of Dark is a tale that is divided among cities. When she is performing on stage, Abi does not simply progress through a set list. Rather, she takes the audience on a journey. Songs that address worry, loss, and the days when even getting out of bed feels like climbing a mountain in the dark are featured in the opening sections, which lean into the anguish that is present in emotional experiences. That atmosphere is reflected in the lighting design. In the first song, Abi and her piano are surrounded by a gentle halo, as the music unfolds in a nearly shadowy setting. There is a faint illumination emanating from the instruments of the band, which seem like silhouettes. This is the kind of setting that can make even a room full of people feel like they are in a private space, as if the entire venue is holding its breath. However, the show does not intend to remain at that location. Throughout the course of the night, each track has the sensation of a candle being lit. There is a brightening of the harmony here, a lifting of the bass line there, and the drums start to pulse with that forward drive. The stage is drenched in color by the time the music reaches the halfway mark. The colors include lavenders, blues, and gentle morning golds. Initially consisting of confessional ballads, the set gradually transitions into cinematic pop, and finally erupts into full-band, full-voice anthems. The name of the tour is a deceptively simple thesis statement. Darkness is real, but it is not absolute. In any situation, there is always a little ember that refuses to die out. Even though it's a small town, the night is quite big. The readers of the Daily Times Chronicle consider Abi's visit to be more than just another date in the calendar of events she will be attending. After playing rooms ranging from a Crisier Arena in California to intimate venues in cities such as Cambridge, Pittsburgh, and St. Louis, the winner of American Idol, has finally brought her No Amount of Dark show right to the doorstep of many New England fans. This is the first time that she has had the opportunity to do so. Even before the lights in the house go down, there is a complete silence that prevails inside the arena. The stage is uncomplicated, but done thus on purpose. A grand piano is positioned slightly off-center, and the glow from above catches the shiny surface of the instrument. Near the backline, there is a small constellation of lamps, each one unique, one old, one modern, and one whimsical, like little beacons of hope that are mismatched with one another. Abi is waiting for the time when she will leave the piano bench and confront the audience head-on. An empty microphone stand is located at the far edge of the stage. After then, the room becomes completely dark, and a single note breaks the silence that has begun to prevail. The voice that brought everything to life. In the live performance of Abi's songs, there is a kind of paradox at work. Her tone is pure and almost delicate, but it carries an emotional weight that has the ability to silence a bar or fill an arena. It is not simply her technical prowess that made her stand out on American Idol. It is also the manner that she made every phrase feel personal, as if it had cost her something to sing it. Critics argue that this is what put her in the spotlight. On this tour, that quality is even more noticeable than it was before. In the opening ballads, insecurity and self-doubt are discussed. These are the kinds of feelings that are almost painfully recognizable to anyone who has ever looked in the mirror and questioned whether or not they were satisfied with themselves. There are songs that describe the pain of witnessing someone you care about struggle against their own demons, and there are also songs that describe the quiet bravery of beginning again after a loss. It is not Abi's intention to fill the presentation with lengthy pronouncements. Instead, she weaves the stories in between songs in a manner that is tiny and sincere. These fragments include moments from her life as a busker in Palm Springs, as a college student juggling her goals with her textbooks, and as a daughter who is still learning how to carry both sadness and thankfulness in the same pair of hands. It is as if each narrative is a diary entry that is read out loud, and then it is carefully incorporated back into the melodies. No Amount of Dark delves deep into its core. The section that was developed around the line that came up with the idea for the tour is one of the most emotionally charged parts of the evening. There is a song by Abi that contains the phrase, and it was this song that initially presented the concept to the audience that no amount of darkness can forever conceal the inner light that resides within everyone. On stage, she does not go into excessive detail about its origin. The graphics, on the other hand, get the job done. At the beginning of the song, the lights dim to the point where they are almost completely dark, leaving only a cool wash on her face. Against the background, subtle projections begin to emerge gradually. These projections include city skylines at night, distant thunderstorms on the horizon, and stars. Here, the band is quiet and almost respectful in their performance. A gentle piano figure reverberates beneath Abi's vocal, which is accompanied by a guitar that is shaking and a drum pattern that is steady like a pulse. There are hundreds of people who are acknowledging, collectively, that they have all been through something that they feared may break them. It feels less like a performance and more like a communal breath. The illumination intensifies as the song reaches its last chorus, yet it does so not in a blinding blast, but rather in layers of warmth, as if someone were to open the curtains 1 inch at a time. Both the stage and the audience are glowing by the time the final note is played. At Abi Carter gigs, standing ovations are common, but this particular performance felt a little bit different. It is not merely appreciation, rather it is being acknowledged. Supporters, newcomers, and those who fall somewhere in between. Because Abi's audience reaches such a wide range of people, this tour is particularly exciting from the point of view of the local arts community. The wallpapers on their mobile devices are still frozen on screenshots from the moment she won American Idol, and there are people wearing personalized t-shirts who are devoted to the show. There are local music enthusiasts who have been attracted in by word of mouth and streaming playlists. These fans are interested about the young woman, whose live performances have been quietly receiving glowing write-ups in city after city. Then there are some individuals who, while enjoying their morning coffee, happen to notice the listing of activities in the Daily Times Chronicle and thought, Why not? As the night progresses, they experience a succession of unexpected outcomes. The manner in which Abi's falsetto rises when she is delivering a climactic line, and then breaks out into laughter when the audience cheers in the middle of the phrase. Her ability to effortlessly transition from a piano ballad to a full band hymn without sacrificing the emotional connection is quite remarkable. The real thankfulness that she exudes when she expresses her appreciation to the audience is not a predetermined moment. Rather, it is the expression of someone who is still a bit surprised that people are ready to turn up and enjoy their evening with her. The sense of watching an artist on the cusp, still building but already magnificent, is something that a parent leans over to their teenager and whispers to them. This, the experience of watching an artist on the precipice, is something that is truly remarkable. This is a set list that has the feel of a journal. It is not possible to read the set list for No Amount of Dark as if it were a greatest hits compilation, because there has not been enough time for it yet. The story is more like a collection of journal entries that have been woven together to form a narrative arc. For lifelong admirers, there are touchstones that are known to them. A collection of songs that revolve on the concepts of heartbreak and perseverance. Tracks that are reminiscent of the emotional intensity that she displayed on American Idol, where she transformed covers into confessions that were quite personal. There have been hints of forthcoming releases that have been teased in the advertising materials for the tour, as well as on Abi's social media profile, where she has been urging fans to pre-save new music while simultaneously celebrating the debut of this tour. On the other hand, there are also surprises, which are songs that have not yet been released and have the feel of chapters from a book that she has just started writing. Some are ethereal, almost dream pop in their textures, while others are grounded, acoustic and raw, hearkening back to her days of playing in restaurants and at street fairs beneath desert skies. They are all reminiscent of her time spent performing. By the time she reaches the last song of the evening, the audience has been taken on an emotional journey that does not pretend that life is simple, but argues, in a resolute manner, that it is beautiful nevertheless. It is more than just a tour, yet it is not a destination. The book, No Amount of Dark, has a significant impact on Abi Carter's career. Taking the voice that America fell in love with, combining it with creative songs, and taking it on the road is, from one point of view, the inevitable next step that should be taken after competing on American Idol. She has previously demonstrated that she is capable of commanding both large arenas, such as how she performed her debut headlining event in the Coachella Valley, as well as smaller venues all across the country. This tour gives the impression of something more fragile and precious when viewed from a different perspective. It is a picture of an artist who is in the middle of their career, no longer a contestant on television, but not yet totally defined by charts and awards. To this day, she maintains her independence, continues to be a passionate protector of her creative freedom, and continues to pay close attention to the stories that fans share with her after each concert. The visit is an opportunity for the towns and cities that are included on this tour, including the one that is featured on the masthead of the Daily Times Chronicle, to be incorporated into that narrative. Some of the people who stood in line tonight will remember this night 10 years from now, when Abi is doing things like headlining festivals or collecting her first major award. They will remember a dimly lit theater, a voice that seemed too big for the room, and a simple stage that was ringed with lamps. They will say, "I saw her back then, when the No Amount of Dark tour rolled through our town." As soon as the lights are turned back on, there is a conclusion to every concert, even the ones that seem like they could go on for an indefinite amount of time. It is not with a riotous encore that Abi brings the evening to a close. Rather, it is with a song that has the feel of a blessing. The instrumentation has been simplified, and the lighting has been made more subdued. Not only does she express gratitude to the audience for coming, but she also expresses gratitude to them for being willing to sit in the dark with her for a bit, and for assisting her in demonstrating, once more, that it does not have the ultimate say. There is a shimmering effect that the final note has on the air, and then it is followed by applause. People are making their way back into the November night, their breath apparent in the chilly air. Outside, the streetlights spill down the sidewalk so that they illuminate the ground. Some clutches have lists that were discovered by accident, while others contain nothing but their phones and an emotion that they are unable to adequately describe. The modest promise that lies at the core of this journey is something that each and every one of them carries in some way or another.